Cutters, Degrassi, Unpopular Opinions. Hey there, Heather Ho there. It's Jeff Cutter Diamond. Welcome you to another Cutter, Degrassi, Unpopular Opinion. This is number 193 in the series. I'm getting close to 200. I have a topic for number 200. I'm not tipping my hand which one it is. Why am I so nervous? Anyhow, so remember how the last duel I did, I mentioned something about Emma and Chris and all that? Well, this is definitely the unpopular opinion. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. This is number 193 in the series. Now, a couple days ago, I did post on Reddit, and for context, it's being taped on April 14th, about the whole thing about trying to understand the whole Emma breakup with Chris. Help me out if I'm wrong. Okay, so one person did comment and said, "Yep, that's what it is." So basically, I'm going to explain myself and why this was a very important feature towards Emma and her season 4 downfall, quote unquote. Here we go. So my understanding is that Emma, for some reason, may have got bored of Chris, dumped him off. Why did I say dumped off? Dumped him off, hoping to find a better boy. With the fact that if Manny can have guys swoon for her, why can't she get that attention? But over the summer, there was nothing. Then her bumping into Chris and maybe having feelings for him again may have wanted her to get him back. Then she hears about Chris and Liberty dating. Then Emma had to say the line, "If they date, what does that say about me?" Like Emma cared what people thought of her when she did her causes. And gets Manny to tell Liberty about Emma's plan to break him up. And then Emma said she missed Chris. Like he could have admitted that and got less hate. Liberty says she won't miss her. Emma loses Liberty and Manny as friends, then decides to befriend Paige's clique to fit in with bullying Rick. She makes an Orange Ribbon campaign to show her cause girl side. Doesn't foresee the abuse Rick takes, is torn, and scolded for attempting to take a check from Rick when she said it would help the cause. And then she protects Rick from a savage beatdown at the risk of being shunned by Paige's group and maybe the school minus the quiz team, and then is easily targeted by Rick. That sums it up, I think. Okay, so a couple of times I did a guys' unpopular opinion about Emma and Chris. And the fact is, did Emma deserve Chris? And to me, it's like, no. Or was Emma using Chris to make Sean jealous? In a sense, that's what I'm feeling. So in season 3, despite the fact that Emma had eyes on Chris, in the season 3 premiere, you get to see when Hatzelackles says Chris Sharp, he looks so cool, and then Emma has eyes on him. Maybe Emma does have eyes on Chris. But then, Emma and Sean break off because Sean says that Emma's not around anymore, even though Emma has to take care of an infant brother and Snake, who has leukemia. So basically, Sean is coerced by Jay and the Candy Bandits to do some bad stuff. Sean steals stuff to impress Jay at the risk of pissing off Radish. Then the simple fact is that, Emma wants to be Chris, but then finds out Chris may have a girlfriend. Emma and Maddie go to a rave for Emma to get after Chris, but Emma says, "I can't destroy Chris's relationship with his girlfriend." So basically, what ends up happening for Emma is that she ends up stuck at the rave because Manny and Craig left and then had sex in Emma's bed, which is ticking Emma off. Emma and Manny have that blow off. Manny says that you're just a prude princess, and then Emma says you're a school slut. And then I think I did. Did I do an unpopular opinion that Emma had to say school slut in season 3? I don't think I did, but I know that a vampire did, and I don't want to ruin their videos by saying that stuff. Anywho, so Emma and Chris do get together, but Chris notices that Emma is more poignant on trying to get back at Sean for stuff and not paying attention to him. Basically, Emma gets Sean in trouble with Radish, or tries to get Sean, the stuff that Sean steals from the school to impress his friends and get him in trouble with Radish. Sean does get 8 weeks of detention because of him talking back to Radish. And then Chris says, "Well, what about this whole thing? You were mad because, Sean stole Snake's laptop," which was true. And basically, this wasn't about the laptop and Snake. This was about Sean. And Emma says, "Yeah, this is about Snake." and getting back at Sean for hurting me. And then Emma admits that, she's upset that Sean moved on. Sean went with Amy. Chris says, "You don't deserve anybody." And then Emma, buoyed by Snake talking to her, says that she needs to get Chris back. So she manages to get Chris back somehow. I would not have taken Emma back for anything. So Emma and Chris are there, but then in the season 4 premiere, there's a line that Emma and Chris broke up, and then the third episode happens when Emma bumps into Chris after breaking up with him, and then they talk about their feelings towards each other, and then Manny, after seeing Liberty write in her math book about her with Chris, because Liberty and Towers broke up, shows Emma the notebook, and Emma is not sure about things. Manny says she will help Emma out getting Chris back, but Emma then says the line, "But if Chris and Liberty date, what does that say about me?" And Manny says, "Wow, that hurts. And you've said some stupid things in the past," like alluding to her abortion line, even though that Emma did change her mind about the whole abortion thing, saying that she supported Manny. I think in a way that she was just trying to get Manny's friendship back, and she blunked because they had that spat in season 3, which I talked about. But I think Emma kind of can help Manny out and still be anti-abortion and still be herself. And I think Spike may have talked to her about it. But anyhow, so the fact is that Manny then tells Liberty this whole stuff. Emma tries to defend herself but can't, and then just basically says, "I guess I just miss Chris so much." And Liberty says, "I'm glad I won't miss you. Go down to hell. Go to hell or something." And then, Emma's by herself. She finds out about Rick coming back from the school in Mercy Street. Now, to be fair, Manny, I don't think was completely angry with Emma, because Manny did tell Liberty in the hot tub scene in season 4 that says that Emma loves hot tubs. Can I offend her? She's the scum of the earth. And then, Liberty, I guess not to piss off Manny, Manny not to piss Liberty off, decides to leave Emma out of it. Emma is basically friendless. She doesn't hang around other people. And then when Paige says there's a monster in our school, but no one wants to do a damn thing about it, Emma says, "Well, do something about it." And then Emma tells Manny and Liberty conveniently in the bathroom, saying that, "I'm going for a latte with, or a frap. I think it's frappuccino or latte with Paige. I said green tea, but I'm wrong. Have fun in your hot tub." Just basically blasting them. I think she was just telling them that you dare break me off as friends. I don't need you. Famous last words. So then they do the Orange Ribbon campaign. Emma then finds out that they're using the Orange Ribbon campaign as a way to beat up Rick instead of contributing to the cause. Rick gives Emma over $500, or attempts to. Anyway, Alex rips up the check. And then Emma says that Alex doesn't know anything. Alex says, "Oh, yeah, I do know about domestic violence because my mother's ex-boyfriends have forced us to live in women's shelters, and I have to help her out." Okay, that's fine. I understand it. And you're thinking that Rick's the embodiment of everyone. But the simple fact is that, you know, that just makes you a bad person, in a sense. Emma has been told not to have sympathy towards Rick. She tries to prove her loyalty to Paige and them by tripping Rick up with the dot. And then the boys beat up Rick, but then Emma realizes it's gone too far, protects Rick. The school ignores her. She's basically stuck with Toby, Heather Sinclair, and Rick on the quiz team, too. And then Jimmy, of course, takes over for Heather, who has that mono thing. And people think that Craig gave her mono, and that's why Craig was sick, too. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, so Emma, doesn't see Rick making advances towards her. Rick, after winning the competition, despite being painted and feathered, tells Emma that all this stuff and kisses her. Emma says, "What are you doing? I thought you loved me. I pitied you. Get a clue." So logically, Emma pulls him off, and then Rick puts a gun to Emma, but thankfully Sean saves the day, and Emma is forlorn, forsaken. And then in Back in Black, she really wanted to be with Sean. Like, that was one of my first unpopular opinions when I first conceived this series, is that Emma wanted Sean in season 4. I mean, Sean saved her life. Who would have? I wish Toby did, because Toby at least would have been probably more popular, and the writers would have given him better storylines than what Toby has now. But the fact is that didn't happen. So the whole Emma breakup. So then, of course, Emma gets gonorrhea and all that because of Jay. And then Chris pops up in his last appearance and blasts Emma for her gonorrhea. And everyone laughs at Emma. But the fact is, this is the big unpopular opinion. The Emma breakup with the Emma situation with Chris. What would have happened to Emma in season 4? The Emma breakup with Chris and trying to break up Chris and Liberty led to her downfall in season 4. Because, let's face it, she lost Manny and Liberty as friends, and then later on she lost Paige's group as friends. And I still feel that Paige was spreading stuff about Emma, saying that, oh, Emma's a hypocrite. And basically Emma was just left with Toby, Rick, and Heather to be around. And then, of course, Jimmy joins the group. But the simple fact is that, what would have happened if Emma had kept her mouth shut and didn't even think about the whole Chris and Liberty thing and didn't blow it off? Would she still have involvement in Rick? I think so. I think in a sense she would have, but the simple fact is it might not have been as big. And who knows? Maybe Emma doesn't have the PTSD and doesn't have the need to cling on to friends as much as she did after the Rick situation. And especially with a boyfriend. I mean, I still say that Emma was only with Chris trying to make Sean jealous. And once Sean stopped being with the Candy Band and be with Ellie and, change his mind, Emma's like, okay, then I don't need Chris. I did Degrassiisms on it. So basically that was the last video I did on that. But the fact is that whether you like it or not, Emma being with Chris and trying to get revenge on Chris led to her downfall in season 4. Because what would have happened if Emma didn't plan on destroying Chris and Liberty? She still probably would have gotten involved in the Rick situation, but you gotta think ahead. Emma had no Manny or Liberty or anyone to tell her, be careful of Rick and all that. Like, okay, yeah, Emma knew about Rick's problems with Terry, but she didn't have the guiding voice that she could go to about Rick's creepy advances. And if she had known about Rick's creepy advances, yes, she probably would have told Simpson because that's her stepfather/teacher. But the fact is that Emma didn't have the true friend to warn her about Rick, and also if Emma had any reservations, she couldn't go to a friend to help. So she did it to herself. And of course, Emma being with friends, like she was grasping onto Manny. I think she was controlling Manny in season 5, no doubt about it. And then was upset when Manny wanted to leave her, thinking that this was a slap in the face. Compared to the slap in the face she felt after Degrassi Goes Hollywood, when Manny goes to Hollywood and does her thing and Liberty goes to pre-law. Emma felt like, I don't have any friends. And I also did an unpopular opinion based on the fact that, was it possible that Manny and Liberty both decided to leave Emma at the first possible chance in Hollywood? I mean, Manny did come back and help Emma out with her remarriage to Spinner in Degrassi Goes Manhattan, but still, I mean, Emma just, yeah, that was bad. And I still say Emma only wanted Chris to try to make Sean jealous. And once Sean stopped being the gangster he was supposed to be, then Emma felt, I don't need Chris. I've done my job. Poor execution, Emma. Very poor execution. Anyway, I'm Jeff Diamond.